Hello everyone, and welcome to a mini review of The Time of the Doctor. So, this is a story that, in short, I was very disappointed with. I've been trying to redraft this review, and I keep on adding to my written review, which you'll be able to find in the description down below. So, you can read that and see what you think, see if you can agree with my points. While there are some obvious things I didn't like, for instance, Matt Smith naked, that's something I never want to see again, or think about, but oh well. Sadly, Steven Moffat decided that would be a good idea. There are a couple of good things. I was enjoying it, apart from Matt Smith being naked, up until the point where, at the end of the bit where the silence fraction of the church, of the papal mainframe is formed, where they go, we shall now dedicate ourselves to silence, or whatever, silence will fall and all that, and then suddenly it all goes a bit naff with these war sequences and Tasha Lem, or whatever her name was, narrating. I think part of the reason behind that was that she didn't seem to be very good at narrating. She didn't really have any, I don't know, when you've got someone narrating something, they need to have some kind of impact on the audience. Sadly, neither her character nor the actress seemed to have any kind of impact. So it's nothing like Kate Blanchett in Lord of the Rings or anything like that, or Ian Holm in The Hobbit. There doesn't seem to be anything really there. The war sequences were a little bit dull. The bit with the wooden Cyberman didn't make any sense to me. I'm still completely and utterly confused how any of it worked. Also, what didn't help was you got all this Christmassy music and it's a war sequence. I just felt that was just a bit naff, really. I like the idea of Matt Smith growing older. However, by the end of it, when he's looking like Doc Brown, who I think he was meant to look like William Hartnell, sadly, he didn't that much to me. And it was quite subtle at first when he was sort of middle-aged. However, by the end of it, it was just a bit distracting, really, and I felt he got really old. And I can understand if they were trying to get a bit of William Hartnell in there, but it just didn't work. Blatantly, it didn't work, so, that's something I wasn't so keen on. The involvement of the Daleks, every time I thought, they're finally getting back into this, they would suddenly be defeated or whatever, and so, the war sequences, it could have been mostly around this war. However, at the end of the day, it wasn't even a proper war. There were lots of, like, yeah, why is it stopping the war sequences? And it does. There's also a couple of irrelevant little things, like Little Boy, and the Christmas dinner in the end, compared to the rest of the story, is a little bit irrelevant. And you don't know who Clara's family members are. I mean, I only knew her gran. I think the bloke was her dad. I don't know who the woman was. No idea. All I know is she was a bit of a Scrooge. So there we go. That's something great. At least Clara hasn't changed jobs. She's an English teacher, which explains a bit. So, the story then picked up with the regeneration, which I thought was really well handled. On the second time viewing it, I realised it was ever so slightly dragged out, ever so slightly. I think you could cut off, I don't know how long it was in total, but you could have cut off 30 seconds or something, I felt that was a bit too much. Little Amelia was an interesting idea. However, of course, it wasn't Caitlin Blackwood, or whatever her name was. It was really obvious. Even when they started showing, her face, you suddenly go, why did you show her face? That was a nice idea, however, it just didn't really work very well. It was slightly dragged out, however, it wasn't the end of time, so there we go. Glad about that. Anyway, Peter Capaldi comes on. I think Peter Capaldi could have been given another 1 minute at least. I felt it was literally just, and that was it. And I felt, you know, considering we're not going to see Doctor Who until the autumn, it seemed a bit rubbish. And we didn't even have, you know, Doctor Who will return in, you know, the 12th hour or whatever, which I wasn't very happy about, obviously. But, you know, the story, I lost interest in it, in the war sequences. I got a bit bored. You know, there were some interesting ideas, how stuff was really thrown in there just for the sake of having it in there. It was like Steven Moffat really... I don't think he thought through the plot lines or anything, and there's a lot of plot holes with it, and the obvious question that comes to my mind is, so is everything in the name of the Doctor now averted? Is it now, you know, never happened is the paradox, in which case Clara... the Impossible Girl thing is more of a paradox than it already is. You know, I like seeing Karen Gillan again. I thought that was quite good. I was expecting that, in all honesty, despite what people were saying. You know, I was expecting that. Her wig could have been better, but you know, Matt Smith's wig was pretty good. However, of course, the only thing that you really notice is compared to it's really, really messy compared to other episodes. So you know. I thought the nice little in-joke with he's got the key in the wig, I thought that was a really good bit. The Weeping Angel bit I really liked. I thought that was quite cool. No pun intended. But yeah, you know, I just lost interest in it. I think if I'm losing interest in an episode of Doctor Who, you know, it has to be a bit naff. Yeah, I'll probably give the story a 6 out of 10, maybe even being a little bit harsh, 6 or a 7 out of 10. I just didn't enjoy it that much in places. However, I thought there were some good bits, but at the same time there were some negative bits. You can, if you look in the description box down below, you'll be able to find the full-length written review, which will basically cover all aspects of the episode. So, thanks for watching, and hopefully the reviews will return at some point.